Hey guys, it is RMD Tech here, and today we're going to be looking at the Anidees Prismatic RGB gaming keyboard. It's a 60% keyboard with Bluetooth functionality and RGB lighting. But today we're going to be making sure that it is actually worth your money. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Once you get the box open, this is what you'll be presented with. It is the full keyboard, and as you can see, it's actually incredibly small. It's a 60% size, so that means lots of the keys will be sharing functionalities with each other. So as you can see here, the 5 key is also percentage and F5, whereas on a full keyboard it would only be 5 and %. That's why you use FN here to be able to trigger different things, whereas you usually only use Shift, Control and Alt to do that. So you have an additional function key. So if we take the keyboard out of the box here, we're going to see that it is actually a very nice design. It's very compact. As you can see, they've really gone for the thin style keyboard here, because the entire thickness of the keyboard, including the keys here, is actually about the size of a normal keycap. It's incredibly thin, so it makes it incredibly portable. As you can see around the edge, we've got this sort of RGB strip, so you can light up the edge of the keyboard really nicely, and as you can see, that goes all the way around as in a full 360 degree. Looking at the back of the keyboard, you are going to notice it is still quite plasticky, but again, that doesn't really matter. It's the bottom of the keyboard. I'm not too worried about it. It does have 4 rubberized feet, so the keyboard isn't going to be sort of moving around your desk whilst you're trying to use it, trying to game on it. It is going to stay nice and still. And it's also got the on-off switch, so that it's not going to be wasting battery whilst it's sat in your bag. Looking back at the box, we also get a user guide, and you'll be surprised to find that the entire thing is in English. There's not a single other language in there, which is great for me, but if you're French, German, Chinese, Mexican, whatever, you're going to struggle sort of reading this, and considering it's quite an advanced keyboard with all the different shortcuts you have to memorise, you might struggle. So I'll cover a few of the basic ones in this video so that hopefully you can sort of get a visual idea of what each different function does. Okay, and then not only that, we also have this little tiny box at the bottom here, and what we get in here is, if I can get it out, we do have the charging cable. Now, this cable does allow you to charge the device, however, it can also be used to sort of, rather than using Bluetooth mode, you can connect up the keyboard wired. So you're not having to drain the battery, and honestly, if you don't really care about it that much, you do have the wired option. And it's just a standard micro USB cable, so if this cable were to break, then you can get a replacement one really cheap on Amazon. Let's talk about the design and the construction of this keyboard. As you can see, it is incredibly thin. The key height is only 11mm. That's barely that's just over a centimetre. Okay, they are using Kale white switches as well. Okay. So you're not going to have your Cherry MX switches, but that's not too big of a deal because honestly they sound fantastic, as you can hear from, well, this. So don't worry, because you're still getting that beautiful mechanical click. And if I remove one of the keys just by sort of pulling it off here, you can have a quick look at the sort of switch there. So that's what it looks like. A little bit different from a Cherry MX, but still great sort of sounding and also feeling, for that matter. So I can just pop that back on like that. So if we have a look around the edge here, we can see that this is actually a really nice metal backplate here. Keyboard flex is also a non-issue. So if I grab the keyboard like this and try and bend it, as you can see, that is going nowhere. So this metal plate that runs along here really is doing it wonders, because I am putting in a lot of strength into that, and it's getting almost no bending whatsoever. Every single key on this keyboard is rated for 70 million presses. So I can do this 70 million times before they expect it to actually break. But normally you can go over that 70 million presses. So I wouldn't worry about the keyboard breaking anytime soon, because 70 million is quite a few. So what is this keyboard actually like to type on? Once I'd gotten used to it, it was actually really enjoyable. I enjoyed it just as much as I did my Corsair Vengeance K70. So it's actually very nice. So if I press the key down, the second you hear that click, you're good to go, and it starts pressing and sort of receiving the signal. But you do have a little bit more room after the click sound, so you have a click and then you can go a little bit further. So it's actually quite nice. It's very easy sort of if you want to do some gaming on it, because it's almost sort of similar to Cherry MX Reds with a very sort of small travel distance. So to start off this review, we're going to be looking at wired mode, and I'll be using my Microsoft Surface Pro 3. So at the moment, as you can see, it is currently in Bluetooth mode. There are no cables connected, so I can type away to my heart's content. However, I'll be switching it now to the cabled mode, and it is as simple as, first of all, making sure the off switch on the back is switched to off, then plugging in the included cable, and then making sure you do it at both ends. Okay, so now it is plugged in. We're going to have to hope that it is working, which it's not. So we need to make sure we press FN and escape. And then we have now switched to wired mode. So as you can see here, that it is indeed working. And I'm typing away. See? And that is with the wired mode. So as you can see, now we are in wired mode, the RGB lighting has come on. So if I tilt the camera downwards, you can see it there. There are multiple modes available. In fact, there are 14 different modes. So the way you switch between them is using FN and Tab. So if I press FN Tab, you'll see some lights come on, and you have this sort of raindrop effect. So I'll just switch through them all now for you to see. This is like a snake effect. I really like this one. It's quite unique. Really cool. This is your standard sort of spectrum wave. This is with your lights off and the sort of outside light just sort of going around. And then we have this sort of wave shape. That is incredibly sort of wow, catching your attention. And I'd recommend you don't use this one if you're prone to seizures. This is just nice, I suppose. Just looks nice. And then different breathing effects, as well as sort of breathing different colours. So you do have a very wide range available, and you're also able to customise them greatly. So you can adjust the speed of playback using these two keys here. As you can see, there's sort of pictures of people running with a plus and a minus. So if you just press FN and one of these keys, it'll make it go faster or make it go slower. You can also adjust the brightness using FN and the arrow keys. So go up and down. So that changes the brightness. Wired mode is great and all, but this keyboard is clearly designed with transportation and portability in mind. So with that being said, how do we switch to Bluetooth mode, and is it actually any good? Well, it's actually an incredibly simple process. All you have to do is flip over the keyboard and switch the switch to the on position. That enables the battery. Then disconnect the power cable, and then hold down FN and escape. As you can see, the RGB lighting will turn off and you will enter Bluetooth mode. So if I then start typing, hopefully we'll be automatically connected to my Microsoft Surface. And as you can see, we are instantly typing away. And it's as simple as that. As you can see, there's no wires or cables connected at all done via Bluetooth. When I was first trying out the Bluetooth function of this keyboard, I could not get it to work. I tried reading the user manual and I just couldn't work out what it was asking me to do. So I sent an email to Anidees, and within 3 hours they'd responded with a full guide on how to do it. So that was really useful. And I finally managed to get it working, as you can see from what I was just demonstrating. So now I'm going to show you exactly how you can also connect your keyboard to any of your Bluetooth enabled devices really easily. So all you need to do is press FN, Shift and L. That will connect your first of 3 devices. You can connect a second and third by holding Control and or Alt rather than Shift. So once you've done that and the blue light starts flashing, head over to the settings in Windows 10, go to devices, and once you're in Bluetooth, press, well, I've just realised I'm still actually connected, so if I remove that device, and then go to add Bluetooth devices, Bluetooth, you'll see it come up here. So if you just tap that keyboard, you're instantly connected. So if I go back to Microsoft Word, I can then, hopefully once it's done sorted itself out, I can start typing. Okay, so if you want to set up a second device, it is as simple as doing the exact same thing, but rather than holding Shift, press FN, Control and L. Okay. If you want to switch between the two different devices, you can press FN and Q, that will switch to device number 1, FN and E, and that will switch to device number 2, and FN and R, and that will switch to device number 3. But my Surface is device number 1, so I'm going to switch to that. If you did find this review useful, then please do be sure to hit that like button. It really does help me out a lot, and it means I know that the content I'm making is worthwhile. If you enjoy this style of content, please do hit subscribe. You'll be getting roughly 1 video per week, but I can't make any promises about that. But let's be honest, you probably don't care that much anyway. So other than that, if you do have any questions or queries, do leave a comment in the comment section down below. I try my best to reply to every comment. I do reply to the majority of them, at least for now anyway. And other than that, I do hope you did enjoy the video.